Alright, hello everyone. It's KR Guy here, I guess. Today I'm trying something a little different. I'm gonna be playing the Pale Beyond for you guys. Just something I picked up on Steam. It looks kind of like a Arctic survival game. But I've never played it before, so it should be pretty interesting, and let's get into it. Alright, so we're gonna start a new expedition here. And we'll just go for the normal game balancing. I don't know, maybe in the later runs I'll do hard, but really I don't know exactly what's going on, so I just wanna hop into it here. Oh, the air be's cold. Oh, the air be's cold, the flake and white, as a sailor begs their pledge. That in the dark they'll brace themselves for horrors still ahead. Of homes they'll dream, of warmth long lost, and chase to frost world's edge. A hunger draws the desperate here. It's one that can't be fed. What will ye do when steel hearts break and courage does abscond? I'll do what must be done indeed, out in the pale beyond. So already I'm like super hyped for this game. I don't know if any of those choices will have any effect in the run. I imagine they might, but if not, like that's still so cool. Crew wanted. Able-bodied crew wanted for dangerous expedition. Months of darkness, low wages, slim chance of safe return. Glory to be had in the event of success. You're alone in the office. The tea in your hand has long since gone cold. It's perfectly adequate. Looking around the room, you can make out a collection of military books. On the desk is a ship in a bottle. A metronome ticks away steadily. I find it rather calming. The dedicated rhythm soothes the senses. It stops. You hear footsteps climbing the stairs that brought you here. Take a seat. The chair is uncomfortably large. The seat feels worn. The door behind you swings open. The captain bounds past you to the other side of the desk. Do you have all your teeth? Sorry? Answer the question, please. I've enough to get by. Scurvy. Can never be too careful. The captain sits down. It's the little things you can lose people to. Are you speaking from experience? How many people have died under your supervision? I don't appreciate this line of questioning. You will when you're on the ice. I'm Captain Hunt. Shaw. He nods. I hope you weren't waiting too long. I'm told it's worth the wait. Good. There's been a lot of candidates. Some good, some bad. Interesting mix. I'm sure you understand the need for discretion. It all seems a bit convoluted for a sailing job. I'm not in the habit of trumpeting my work to every would-be sailor on the street. I need to know if you're right for the job first. He looks down at his list of questions. Were you born a landlubber or sea dog? I'll just hit the I'm sorry here. Maybe it'll give some stuff. I'm asking where you crawled out of. It's alright. We've all sorts here. The landborn are those born and raised within imperial society. Raised in the colonial cities, landborn appropriately spend much of their life and work within those cities. While it isn't unheard of, those who find themselves working at sea are rarely tasked with manual labor. The saltborn are sons and daughters of the sea. A solitary culture of sailors and whalers, the saltborn are rarely away from open waters. The vast majority of sailing crews are made up of their ranks, though few are found in the position of officer. Mutwash prove harder to place. A mix of salt and earth in their upbringing, Mutwash tend to live as drifters, rarely belonging to any one group. As such, they tend to be well-traveled and well-experienced, but struggle to find acceptance and belonging. Okay. Interesting. I think I'll go with landborn for this first one. I'm from the city, but made my way to the sea eventually. Military experience? Okay. I'll go with the top option for now. We'll say I'm from the Royal Admiralty. Royal Admiralty. 2 tours. Under what circumstances did you leave? I left honorably. Well, we've no stewards to wipe your arse out here. You best get used to doing that yourself. Have you ever fired a weapon? Well, I mean, yes. Have you ever killed a man? Directly or otherwise? Yes. I see. You're not married, are you? Happily. And you're sure they're fine with you leaving for this long? We need the money. I understand. However, one must believe they'll return to justify leaving any family in the first place. I read that wrong, it's fine. Yours is counting on that. Months of darkness. Low wages. Slim chance of safe return. That didn't deter you, did it? Good work is hard to come by these days. Indeed. A venture like this, however, it's about more than just the money, isn't it? Where are we headed? We're here to find the ship in that bottle. The Viscount. Heard of it? No. Enlighten me. 5 years ago, she set sail on a research expedition towards the Dead Peninsula. They were trying to find and study the absolute magnetic south. If they found it, I might have heard of them. She never came back. Her last known location was 200 miles south of land, presumed lost to the ice. "5 years is a bit late for a rescue operation. They're probably dead." Alive or not, their research is supposedly of extreme importance. And we're supposed to be chasing that research. Exactly. Here's what we do know. Not one person or thing has been heard from the Viscount since it first left port. So we're chasing ghosts, then. Maybe it's a myth, maybe it isn't. I can assure you the money is real. Those with more money than sense want that old ship. That's the job. If I don't pick the first mate, somebody else will, and... well... my judge of character has gotten me this far. And who's financing all of this? The usual. Film and lecture rights have been sold, of course. We're in the process of signing off on a final benefactor for the expedition. They've even donated a ship. We'll be traveling on board the Temperance. She's a beauty. Greenwood. Generational. Not many like it left these days. The Viscount and the Temperance. They're sister ships, built together, sent out into this world to die alone. Poetic. Indeed. I like to think one calls out for the other. The captain looks at the bottled ship. So, what do you think? Sounds like you'll need all. Don't you need more information? Not if I'm a captain worth his salt. I work with people, not professions. I'd sooner trust a good carpenter than a cruel sailor to save me from drowning. But alas, I'll see you on the Temperance. I've a good feeling about you, Shaw. Thank you, Captain. The captain makes his way to the door, and you follow. I'm so hyped to play this game. That was amazing. I love that. You arrive at the docks, a month to the day. Before you lies the ship, the letters on its side read, Temperance. You walk the cobble to the boarding ramp. Beside is a sharply dressed man overseeing the loading of cargo. He turns to you with a stern expression. You can feel his eyes assessing you. A military gate? You must be Hunt's pick for first mate. I figured he'd keep it in the ranks. Good man. He extends an arm. Richard Templeton. A pleasure. You accept his offer of a handshake. It's a considered shake. I shall be operating as the chief science officer on this expedition. I'm also the incumbent representative of our benefactor. Do, however, consider myself and my team at you and the captain's disposal. Oh, I love that third option. Sure. I'm fairly certain we're all disposable. He straightens himself. No doubt I needn't inform you of your duties. You are second only to Captain Hunt himself. Though I must warn you that you have quite the task ahead. The rabble I've spent the afternoon sorting are the same that you'll have to whip into shape. Punctuality, schedule, a strict adherence is what we need if this expedition is to succeed. I expect you to be the organized sort. You would not have been assigned to the role otherwise. Alright, so up here it looks like we got some kind of clock and a temperature gauge. Oh, it looks like it might be tracking where our ship is over the course of the journey. Sea folk are known to be unruly. I will do my best to keep them in line. Good to hear. Let me know when you're ready to depart. And make sure to savor these last moments on land. The less valuable time we waste here, the better. Alright, so we got a lot of options. I guess the clock is probably in real time. So we can go back to the city, we can get on the ship, or we can talk to this young man. A young man stands at the ramp, steeling himself for the journey ahead. Hesitantly, he begins to drag his feet up the ramp and onto the ship. Alright, let's see what happens if we go down here. You will be gone for quite a while. It will be some time before you see the city again. Oh, I thought we'd be making our way into it. Alright. Let's get to the Temperance. Hunt's description of the ship was accurate. Near identical to the Viscount, barring some modern additions. Alright, not much else to do here. Let's head down to it. I like the music as well. It's pretty calming. Whoa. Alright. Getting some nice adventure vibes coming in. Pale Beyond. Oh wow. This is beautiful. It's been First Mate Shaw. Personal log. It's been 1 month since I signed on, and 1 week since we've set sail aboard the Temperance. I'm told the waters will get warmer as we pass the hemisphere before they turn colder. I can't help but wonder who's footing the bill for all this. Certainly not the captain. I intend to investigate further. The Admiralty had nothing like this. She's magnificent, a technical marvel, elegant machinery expertly weaved through one of the fastest hardwood ships of its day. Reborn for this mission, breathing again with life, she's simply magnificent. As for its master, he's mostly kept to his quarters so far. The captain seems a trustworthy sort. Experience alone justifies his position. There aren't many who make out the other end of naval military service with all their limbs, let alone his vigor. Though he seems prone to impulsivity, the man's day-to-day decisions feel driven by instincts. I don't know if I'm just not picking up on clues, but I feel like the game is leading me to mistrust the captain. But I haven't really seen that with our brief introduction to him. I mean, he seemed like an amicable sort. I don't know. I'll keep an eye out later. It can't just be a red herring with the amount of foreshadowing they put into this. I do find myself warming to the man. As for the rest of the crew, there are now 22 of us, including the captain. Our next port will be our last before we enter the ice, to pick up the remaining 4 members of the crew, the scouting team. Hunt is also keen to work out a deal on a pack of sledding dogs. The crew are a strange lot, eclectic as the ship itself. One of Hunt's sailors approaches. Joe. Captain wants you at the helm. What for? Didn't ask. Alright, he leaves. The crow's nest currently stands unoccupied. The scouting team are expected to join us at the next port. Alright, let's go to the captain. You ascend the stairs to the stern and find the old captain manning the helm of the ship. Ah, Robin. Lovely day for it, isn't it? That's definitely not his voice, but it's fine. It is indeed, Captain. Indeed. There we go. It's days like these I make sure to do my share of the sailing. He winks. Why? Can't afford to go rusty in my old age. Never know when you're going to have to get your hands dirty. He thinks for a moment before stepping aside and stretching out a wrinkled hand. Did you ever take the helm in the Admiralty? Never felt right not to for me. Here, why don't you have a try? Alright, sure. You grip the wheel of the ship and feel the weight of the waves in your arms. Okay, just right click to pan around. Oh god, I'm playing on a trackpad. Easy, there. The captain pats you on the back. Fantastic. Now try to get a sense of where we are. Get some perspective. Okay. Use the scroll wheel to zoom. Peaceful, isn't it? Panning and zooming speeds can be... Oh, you guys don't need to hear me read that. He takes the wheel back from me. I think I'll drink the morning in, Chihuahua. Would you mind preparing my quarters for the day's work? There's much to do. Alright, sure. It's telling us where to go. Thanks, Gavin. Ooh, there's a lot of things we can look at. Let's see. A pristine, furnished tub secured to the floor. A luxury to be had on the ice. On the desk, you make out a variety of papers, notes, and maps, as well as a sealed letter with a stamp you don't recognize. The desk itself is suspended with ropes to keep it safely in place. A classical painting depicts sailors doing battle with a kraken. You're unsure of its Okay, that's a typo in the game. I'm not going crazy. You're unsure of its historical significance, though recognize the ship as the galleon of Captain Hamish. Alright, well, I don't know Captain Hamish. Wait. Is our captain Captain Hamish? I'm not sure. Could be. You take a seat at the end of the room. The captain joins you. Now, let's run through our provisions before taking requests. To start, there's 23 souls signed on to this expedition, ourselves included. That's 16 free to be assigned to tasks, if they aren't already busy. The rest are deployed to their permanent stations. You are only able to deploy crew who you have discovered. They must be in good health and not otherwise deployed to another post. We'll be picking up the scouting crew at the next port. The lot of us also seem to be in good spirits. The expedition will end, tearing itself apart, if you end the week with no decorum left. That's depicted by this little white flag. We have enough provisions for at least 6 months in case of emergency. If you cannot afford the minimum food rations... I hope I wasn't muted for all of that. The issue that we have here is, whether or not we're going to be, actually, let me just... Okay, so I'm back. Sorry, my mic was muted. Not ideal. Just some bumps we're going through on the way. So, the issue that I see that we're having here is, if we put on another member of the crew, we're gonna have to go through more resources. But I don't know, let's see if Hunt has anything else to say. I don't see the harm in having an expert on the sled dogs.
A good point, Shaw.
He turns to her.
This deal is already to your benefit.
Do you have anyone on board with extensive training in the management and ruling of dogs? Your sleds are useless if you can't control the dogs efficiently enough to haul them. And I would like to ensure my dogs are treated properly. Welcome aboard, Cordell. Your knowledge should prove valuable. Invaluable.
I'll have a room prepared for you below deck.
Alright, our max crew increased to 24. No need. You'll find me in the forecastle with the dogs. She leaves.
I hope I'm not making a mistake, Shaw.
Okay, so we have our dogs now. Let's see what Corvid, the crow, has to say. A sailor enters.
We found a stowaway in the lower hold.
I'm sorry about the audio issues. This one's gonna be a nightmare to edit. But it's finally working. And hopefully that'll be the end of it. Another sailor enters, leading a young man by their side.
You know, you're not the first stowaway I've had.
The captain studies them further.
You know where we're heading, don't you?
I do, sir. Oh, God. The ice.
Did you know that before you climbed inside that crate?
I did, sir.
Ha! How old are you? You're hardly a useful pair of hands.
Not true. I can pull my weight, sir.
Do you know your jaboom from your bowsprit?
I don't. I do. I learned it all from my dad.
Your da.
He is Ward's son. Followed him on board back in the city. What should we do with him, Captain?
Well, Shaw,
Hunt eyes you up.
your first mate. What should we do with them?
It's your decision to make, not mine.
Aye, but I would like to hear your opinion. What sort of captain would I be if I didn't accept consultation?
I'd keep them aboard. Hunt squints.
Why?
I don't think I'm making good decisions. We don't have the time to accommodate this. If the boy wants to freeze to death, let him.
Alright, boy. Consider yourself part of the crew. Be sure to keep your nose clean and follow orders.
I will. Thank you, sir.
Captain, not sir.
Aye, Captain. The stowaway joins the two sailors below deck, now a member of the crew.
Well, it seems the litter has a new runt. I hope the rest won't mind sharing their rations.
Yeah, I shouldn't have done that.
What of the father?
What of the father?
Should he be punished for letting this happen? Another mouth to feed on the ice can be the difference between life and death.
Simple. Split their pay and their rations. Any rations the boy takes should come from his.
Yes, that works. Maybe we'll make a sailor of him by the end of this. Well, that matter's sorted.
I don't like how I handled that. I think I should have put the runt. Oscar. Sorry, my cat. Oh. Sorry, my cat was attacking me a bit.
Now that that's settled, I have one more errand for you to run. Could you grab the Stoke brothers and order them to meet me up deck after dinner? Hefty lads, red hair, you couldn't mistake them for another.
An urgent matter?
Not at all. Nothing you should concern yourself with. They'll be down on the middle deck. In the meantime, you should grab a copy of the crew manifest and get acquainted with more of the crew.
Alright, let's go meet the crew. Upon closer inspection, you make out the ship's photographer, Kasha Belford, balanced on the ship's mast with her camera, lining up a photo. How's the view up there? You startle the woman, causing her to fall and nearly drop her camera. You help her retrieve the device and untangle herself from the rigging. That was a close shave, Officer Shaw. It's about time I met the first officer of this ship. Kasha Belford. Nice to meet you, Kasha. I suppose there was some sort of rule against what I was doing up there. Deepest apologies, but sometimes there's a shot you just cannot pass up. An accomplished photographer, Kasha Belford won the Fentler Prize, the highest honor in journalism, for her work covering plague outbreaks and riots in the capital. It came as a surprise to many that such a reputable journalist would take such an interest in this expedition. There was scarcely any chance of Hunt or the benefactor turning her away. You expected someone of her accolades to be older, more experienced. This is likely her first time on the sea like this. Inexperience is a matter of interest, but her accolades speak for themselves. The cold game. Picture that as a header. Oh god, her voice is morphing. It's fine. I might go for some kind of completely different accent in a few. It's okay. For the piece on this voyage, I'm trying to come up with a snappy name. Nobody will read it. If the title sounds like the work of an amateur. Sounds fine to me. I like it. Kasha placed a finger to her chin, squinting her eye in thought. It's not perfect, but it's a work in progress. Plenty of time. We haven't even hit the ice yet. It's all so exciting already. I suppose someone of your experience finds it all boring at this point. A trip to the ice may seem dull compared to the Royal Admiralty. You know who I am. Of course. I thoroughly researched the crew of the Temperance. May seem somewhat excessive, but I feel it's necessary for a proper chronicling. That and plenty of pictures. Don't worry, Shaw. You don't have a reputation that sets you apart from the rest. A celebrity like Kurt Darling's presence will dwarf any rumors that could form around you. That reminds me, he'll be joining us at the next port. I should get his pictures at some point. Kasha holds up her camera with a sense of pride before holding it up to her face. Stand still, Shaw. Please warn me before doing that. Oh, sorry. It's for the manifest Hunt wanted me to put together for you. She hands you an annotated document. Here it is, the crew manifest. Alright, so we got Timmy Runt Ward, killing Smurf Sanders, who's ice savvy, Amelia Corvid Sparrow, Joseph Joe Gren. For sailors, no scouts, some engineers, some scientists, specialists. Oh, these folks are all deployed. That's me. Huh, interesting that my face is wiped out. There's Belford. There's the captain. He's a Muttwash, not a Saltborn. It's not something I was expecting. Key items. The camera. Grimly's accordion? Okay. And some resource cards. Alright, that's pretty cool. It's a work in progress. The scout team are to join us at the next port, and the captain's forbidden me from the boiler room. If you could ask the others to get their portraits taken, I'd be very grateful. Don't want to leave anyone out. I'll see what I can do. I'll not disturb you of your work any further, officer. I have a few more shots I want to get before the sun lowers anyhow. Safe shots, officer. Don't worry. You leave her to her work. Yeah, her voice went through a whole thing. There. It's fine. We still gotta find those brothers, don't we? Once we're taken from this black screen. There we go. The two Johns. You spot a large man with a youthful gait carrying a heavy crate over his shoulder with relative ease.
Oh, you're Officer Shaw.
He gives a bright, warming smile.
Two Johns. That's what they call me. I'm sure you'll get your nickname later.
Two Johns attempts to offer a handshake, but loses control of the crate. He struggles before firmly holding it in place with both hands.
Ah, maybe later. Work awaits.
Alright. John added to the manifest, and he's available. Although, he is carrying boxes around. Descend to the middeck. Let's see. Wait, who is John? Probably a sailor, right? There he is. And he's Saltborn. Okay. I wonder, can I, like, click on these guys? No. Alright. Approach the cook. You find yourself almost knocking over a man carrying a heavy pot. Oh, this is the accordion. This is cool. I love this game.
Careful, careful. You almost got drenched in broth.
Apologies. I'm in a rush. On a request for Hunt.
From Hunt? Is there an issue with the ship?
No, he just wanted me to find the Stoke brothers for a meeting.
Not surprised. Those two are the only ones who know what's going on aboard this bloody ship.
You hear a roar from the other side of the door.
Oi! What's holding you up?
Oh, that's not the cook. The cook shakes his head with a smile and chuckles slightly to himself. He grabs a large pot, preparing to make his way to the hungry crew before turning his head to you.
If you don't mind, could you carry that tray of biscuits behind me?
Sure. You grab the plate and follow the cook out the door and to the table where the crew are waiting with bated breath. Upon the cook's arrival, the sailors let out a rowdy cheer, the ship's cook placing the broth upon the table.
Trust me, fellows, this one is worth the wait.
The cook speaks with a tone of pride as he ladles the broth into the bowls of the crew.
Oi, one at a time, you animals. Whoa, you're awfully handsy for only one arm. Ah, piss off, Junior.
Got some bread here, too. Grab it fast before Tucker beats you to it. The crew laugh and are merry as Junior guides you back through the kitchen. You're Junior? Why didn't you tell me earlier? Oh, the cook is Junior?
I wanted to see how long it would take for you to ask. Did he not give you a description? Or were you just not paying attention to the cook?
We weren't properly introduced.
Robinshaw, right? I've been keeping track of all the new crew. You're in Stokes, but nobody calls me that. You'll hear them all call me Junior. You should do the same. No idea why Hunt picked someone he's never worked with as first mate. But you seem the helpful sort. Glad to have you aboard.
Well, Hunt wished to see you. As soon as possible.
Ah, yes, good old Hunt. Never a rest on his ship, let me tell you. Especially when Hunt takes a liking to you. Alright. The crew have their meal. It passes in relative silence. The crew return to their posts. The hammocks are unfurled in preparation for the evening. Twilight falls. The dinner table. Over dinner, you hear the newly picked up stowaway speaking with a one-armed man. But, you're lucky Hunt didn't throw you overboard. Half a mind to do that myself. Come on, I'm here to help. Better know that involves work. Don't expect special treatment. I won't. You're an impossible child, Timmy. Okay. I have met Doug Ward. Hey, let me talk to this guy. He looks interesting. Oh, wait. Ooh, I can go into my cabin? What's in here? So I can look at the poem I wrote and the rest of the stuff I entered into my journal. I wonder if what I wrote in the journal will have consequences later. It feels like it might. Like, that seems like the type of game that this is. Let me see the ocean. Before I go speak to Templeton. As you overlook the railing out to the ocean, a wisp of smoke flies past your face. You turn to examine and spot a sailor with a pipe in his mouth and a sheet of paper in his hand, overlooking the stirring waters.
Looking at something.
Who are you?
Tashi.
After introducing himself, Tashi falls silent and begins to read the letter. Trying to draw a conversation from him may be similar to extracting teeth. Okay. Vern Sheridan, but we call him Tashi. You spot Templeton, looking out into the sunset. As you approach, he turns to you and nods. Ah. Oh, I forget his voice. Ah, Officer Shaw. It will be some time before we see a sunset such as this again. The light distribution towards the southern pole is quite the change. I noticed you weren't at dinner with the others. I prefer to eat in solitude. I have my own cabin, and I make use of it. Templeton keeps his focus on the reflection of the setting sun over the stirring waters of the ocean. There's great expectation upon us, officer. From who? Who is this benefactor of ours? That is not for you to know. Not yet. Templeton looks down, catching his reflection in the ocean's surface. He looks back up at the sunset. Quite the sight, but I wouldn't linger upon it too long. We should retire for the evening. It's important the first officer be well rested. Do I have to do this? I guess so. Alright. Hit me with the next week. Okay, so the game travels by weeks. Oh, wait, no. So high rations are gonna be... Hello? Let me... There we go. Yeah, no rations are not gonna be ideal. Let's just go with normal rations, sir. No. Sorry, it's, Wow. There we go. Okay. Normal rations. Normal fuel rations. Keep the crew happy. The ship makes its last port at Orca Island. Cornell's sledding dogs are picked up. The scouting crew and Kurt Darling are picked up. The days are getting brighter as you move further south.
I think we're gonna end this video here. Just because basic audio issues, I'm a little tired. And, oh, we can see the temperature change. It got a little warmer. Yeah, and we'll get back into it on the next week.